What's so funny is because it's gonna be like
Silly. So hey everybody, wait, what's up? This is Tanisha, and of course this is Beministree Just Talk. It's my second episode. I was gonna say it's the last episode of the year, like I got a whole bunch of them, but it's the second episode and it's the last episode of the year. Today we're going to be talking about relationships, but not the romantic kind. We're not talking about that. We're talking about friendships. How we've been able to maintain during COVID. How we maintain it. Did we lose some friendship that we weren't supposed to lose, or did we pick them back up any kind of way? So we're going to be getting into that. But first things first, I got my girls on the line today, and ask y'all to introduce yourself. But I'm gonna do something extra. After you introduce yourself, tell me what kind of friend are you? Are you the ratchet friend? Are you the ride or die friend? Are you the silent killer? Because I always say I'm the silent killer. Like I'm a ride up. You know, if y'all need me to ride up, whatever y'all need me to do, I'm there for y'all. So I'm gonna go with Sam first at the bottom. Go ahead and give us a little intro.
Oh Lord. Okay. Well, I'm Cassandra Townsend. We've been rocking for what, 9, 10 years. Um, from Mississippi, stuck in Maryland right now, forever for the rest of my life because we here. What kind of friend am I? Like, I think I cover all grounds on the ride or die and the ratchet, I guess. I don't know. I'm all over the place. Just wherever you need me, I'm there. That's me.
Yes. All right, V.
Oh, me. Hi, I'm Veronica. I'm from Mississippi as well. Stuck in Mississippi right now for school, but on my way to Cali. Praise God. So depending on what dynamic I'm in, I could be Peter at the Bible for sure. You got a problem? Let's go ahead and get this done. You know what I mean? And then I come with a little wisdom, bring a little Romans through there. But I'm that friend for sure. If we out and we've been drinking, we gonna get home. How do you say back in the day? We gonna get home. So I'm like, yeah, a little bit all over the place, but I'm more like a Peter. I ain't gonna say too much, but if you need me, I got you.
Got you. All right, Krishan.
all right, it's me, Krishan. It depends on where we at. I'm Chrissy, everything. I am from Compton, California, and I'm actually
Compton.
look. A station in San Diego right now, been in Navy 20 years. Oh yeah, Sam, we've been together for almost 10 years now. Like we've been
Been
right
a long time.
a long time. What kind of friend am I? I think I'm more of the wisdom, spiritual, like big sister. Depends on which need, gonna talk you down off the ledge. But I can get hood real quick if I need to. So I'm that friend I got zero tolerance for buffoonery. So I'll go grab a corner real quick. So but just happy to be here. Happy to see y'all because we cuts up and clown no matter what. So I'm just excited. So
Y'all know we've been riding that anti-foolishness train for a long time. We don't foolishness.
7+.
So with COVID and everything, have been just having a hard time staying connected, whether it's church or family. And so I think it kind of affected us a little bit, maybe at work and stuff like that. But we really been having this group chat messaging for 8 or 9 years now, just like we can throw anything in there. So how has COVID affect you relationship wise? Have y'all added new friends? Do y'all have friends that y'all have been trying to connect with? I know it's fun. Connect with, you have been able to connect with?
First of all, my motto, no new friends. But no,
No
I have
strings.
associates. I have associates. I can't say I really lost anybody. Work did get really busy for me here in Annapolis with the midshipmen. So we were where everybody else was kind of teleworking. We were at work a lot. So I wasn't able to send messages or call as much. But every now and then, me, I'm gonna throw a prayer out there or a meme or something just to make sure I stay in contact with everybody. But it's I don't think it was really tough for our circle because we've always been this way. We started back watching YouTube videos
Yes.
and Facebook right around the corner from each other during typhoons. So
Yes.
it's nothing for us to stay joined through the virtual world.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, oh, I'm sorry. I was gonna say for me, I'm kind of the same. Like I have like two friend groups, you all, and then my group that I pretty much grew up with. So being in the Navy, you're always at a distance from a friend. You know what I mean? So you always got to work on making sure those relationships are kindled and putting in the work to make sure that they don't go neglected. But if they're, like we're friends, like we may not be on talk every day, but we pick up right where we left off.
It's funny that when you asked the question, like all of us look like, what you mean, friends? Because we do have that like no friends thing, because it's really, what do you consider a friend? Like
Right.
for us, I consider us a more than friends. Like y'all my sisters, y'all my family, or whatever. And I don't really think that there is anybody else in this world that I can say that I'm as close to as y'all. You know what I mean? So when people like my friends, I'd be like, no, because my real friends, we got this
right.
So I would say that I do have people that I'm close to. It's actually one friend that's out here in San Diego, and I be messing with her because I be like, yo, we about to get a divorce because you be saying you gonna come over, you don't show up, what's going on? And she be like, oh, life just happened. And I was like, well, send a period, send something,
right.
So I can keep you alive.
Yeah.
Don't just leave me hanging. So what I love about us though is, like you said, throw a meme in there, throw a little joke or whatever. We may not talk for like a month. I don't even, have we ever went a month without talking?
No.
Because you know me, if it's been silent for 2 days, I'm like, y'all good?
Yeah, everybody be like, you all right?
You
Okay. But that's what I love the most is that we could just, throw, hey, y'all, just checking in. I'm all right. You good? Everybody good? Anybody need anything? All right, I'm about to bounce out. Or we give that message like, look, I'm about to go on the fast. I ain't gonna be on social media. If you need me, hit me. Just so we know where each other, how to reach each other. But what I love the most is that no matter what, if we need, we got a post about it too. It was like we on different sides of the coast. Each one of us was like either overseas, East Coast, West Coast, no matter what. And we were laughing in this chat like we was in the same room. So that's
right.
So it's cool.
That's definitely what I love. I think one of the biggest things in relationship or friendship is understanding. If I'm not hitting y'all up, maybe I'm busy or doing something, but we're able to pick back up with no feelings lost. Nobody's feeling some type of way. And I really enjoy that, especially in a place of social media where I was looking at it. You just add a friend. You just add a friend. I got 500, maybe 600 friends on my Facebook, and I don't know none. Like I don't talk to none of them like this. I'm like, it's so easy to say, oh, I got all these friends, but do you really have friends?
Yeah.
Like,
right.
Understanding piece is critical. Just understanding where everybody's at in life. Can I reach out? Sometimes y'all be messaging about Navy stuff, and I'm not in the Navy no more, so I'll be like, oh, this ain't my conversation. But I like it, or like, oh yeah, I agree with that. What that person says.
Mm-hmm.
So, just having that understanding of where everybody's at in life and what they're doing. If you got kids, if you busy with a different type of season. I know y'all going through some things right now in the Navy, busy with different kinds of seasons, but knowing
pray for them.
where everybody's at, I think it's important. I think it's he. And then I was trying.
Wait, Tanisha, before you move on, like the seasons part, right? Where how each,
right there.
huh?
That's the next topic, the seasons. That's go ahead.
Oh, okay. Never mind, I'll wait.
That's the next topic, the seasons. So y'all know the scripture, everything, there's a reason, there's season. I think it in some ways is misconstrued because I think immature Tanisha was more willing, like, oh, this person ain't for my season, I'm cutting them off. And my cutoff game was super strong, like I'm cutting them off. And I think that when I look back, I might have missed out on some friendships that God had put together because I was in that defense mechanism. So y'all think about that cutoff. Is there anybody that you cut off prematurely for a friendship that you might have supposed to have a little bit longer, or y'all should still be friends right now?
I think mine is the reverse. I think I've held on to some people that I should have cut off.
Yeah.
I think that
I'm with you with that one.
having a big heart will definitely get you caught up. And you continue like, you know what, maybe they'll get better, and you hang on for a little bit. And then when you finally cut them off, it's just like, man, I should have cut you off a long time ago. And I'm kind of dealing with that right now. I have a friend who's in a and like I said, we went through boot camp together, so we've been riding for a minute, but she's just in a relationship that I cannot handle. Like, she's very abusive relationship. She just will not leave, but she'll continue to call and ask for advice when the only advice and the only real option for her is to leave. And it started to get draining, and anytime I saw her name pop up on my phone or a message, I just immediately felt heavy. And I just had to say, I can't be there for you in that manner anymore, and it's hard. But then you have to understand, I think my sister said the other day and on Facebook that there's some people that can't go with you to that next level or that next season. You just have to understand that even though you want to bring them with you, there are just some people that cannot go. And that's what I had to learn.
Yeah.
That's the same for me, like you holding on and, because what really happens is you are friends with the potential of the person. You're not really friends with you potential. And so for us being spiritual beings, we like, oh, I can see past that. And we become that fixer friend. And we try to I'm gonna say fix it up, because that's the only word I can say. Fix it up with being like, I'm there, I'm being understand, I'm just being that word of wisdom, I'm being this. But really, we trying to get them to that place that we see, because we're spiritual beings and we can see them there, not really recognizing that that's not our place. Our place is not to fix them to get to the end result. Our place is to be there for them, whatever season that they're in, and then recognize that we got to let them go. And so we tend to hold on because we're like, oh, well, if we just do this, or oh, if I just give them this word, or if I just do that, they'll be the friend, or they'll be what we're looking for, and then end up recognizing that, wasted all this time because that really wasn't your place. That really wasn't, who you're supposed to be. I will say though, that for the cutoff game, like, cause you talk about cutoff, like, I could make it seem like I ain't never met you a day in your life. You could walk past me, I'd be like, oh, we know each other? I'm sorry, So I will say that there was a time that I had to cut a person off, and I was like, I'm not talking to them. I ain't got nothing for them. I don't want to say nothing to them, whatever the case may be. Like, Jesus himself gonna have to come and tell me to go talk to this person. And he sure did. He was like, I need you to go back. I need you to go tell them or whatever. And even that person was like afraid, like, you want to talk to me? And I was like, yeah, I got something for you. Let me be OB. I got something for you. But I will say that we're not as close anymore. I can definitely say hi, bye. If you call me and say, hey, can you pray for me or whatever the case may be, I do recognize that season is over, but I do know that he did make me go back, and kind of give them what I was supposed to give them. That's like I said, recognizing who you're supposed to be or what your position is in that friendship. I'll go back, give what I needed to give. And then he was like, okay, now you got permission to go. So.
Right. Well, I'll cut people off so quick, they don't even be knowing they cut off. So I definitely have to, I have to work on that. And my husband was like, such, asked about you, don't ask about me. So I had to work on that and my facial expressions. But I just realized I had to set up boundaries. For me, boundaries are very important. And the other thing is like, if I have to put more energy and emotions into this relationship, that it's like I'm in a marriage and I'm doing more work in this relationship than I'm doing in my marriage. And it's like, I had a friend that she will only be around me when she needed something, or if I was in if I'm going through something, she's all about being there when I'm going through something because it made her feel better. But you're not praying for me. You're not giving me any positive reinforcement. You're just there to be like, oh, that's just life. You get over it and move on. But when I'm doing great things and trying to be a better person and I'm making accomplishments and strides, you're nowhere to be found. Because then it's like a jealous piece kind of comes into it. So I'm like, my peace is very important. And if you can't support what I'm trying to do, Even if you're just, you know, how we are, we always pray for each other, we're there for each other, but there's no jealousy or envy in it. You know what I mean? And it's genuine. But you can feel when a person is not genuine when they're coming to you as a friend. It's like a facade. And I don't do real with that. But I can say I've cut people off quicker. But I don't regret it. But then I've held on to some. I've held on to some too long. You know what I mean? It's a give and take. And I can't just give. And I'm always out of energy when and exhausted when I've had a conversation with you.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't think that I've cut anybody off prematurely, but it's the same as B was saying. I was matching. If they putting in 100, I'm putting in 100. You know, it'll fall off if I'm putting in all the work and they're not putting in the work, then I kind of back off, you know, and boundaries are super important. I wish that we could, the same way we do somebody we don't want to talk to, like, hey, this ain't gonna work out, and everybody go. Friendship, like, hey, you know what? We've gone the course and this friendship ain't gonna work out.
Right.
Be with you and keep it moving. So that definitely needs to be a thing that people make important. But boundaries is another important thing. Having boundaries and recognizing toxic relationships. What is a healthy relationship, especially when it comes to friendship? Is somebody being, asking for too much or leaning on somebody only when you need something? It's like a form of abuse.
It is.
So,
right.
recognizing those toxic relationships. Now, have you guys been in a toxic friendship, and then what did you do to did you cut them off, or were you in there and didn't really realize you were the fixer, like Krishan was saying, you're the fixer trying to help somebody, and then you got to the end of your rope and realized, like, hey, I can't do this. So what did you do, and how did you handle a toxic friendship?
You know, I'll say I am not often the best at recognizing toxic. I'll look at my own traits and try to and look at them as toxic before I see another person as toxic. That's the problem I have. So I had someone who tell me that, oh, you know what, you're too caring. You always care, or you're always there, like you always answer the phone. And I was like, that's me. I'm bad for doing that, And so I realized that I did not know how to pick out toxic traits in other people because I was always looking at me instead of what theirs were. When I did recognize the toxic trait, it was not hard for me to be like, you know what? Nah, this ain't it, and move on. So that's a learning thing for me and a growing thing because I'm always looking at how can I be better? Am I being a good friend? Am I not being a good friend? And that's just a internal thing for me. I will say that a horrible toxic trait of mine is shopping. And I can convince anybody to buy anything. That's real bad. And I try to stop that, but I can't because if we going in the mall together, we all coming out with a bag. But that's where I'm at.
I think for me, because I was in an abusive relationship, that I always look at people's motives before I even allow them in, because I'm a very private person. So I'll be like, what you want? What is this? What is that? So I don't think it's more so in a friendship that I say that I because it's just, again, I have zero tolerance for like zero. And so when I see stuff, I be like, yeah, this is no. So I don't even let people get to that place. But I will say when it comes to associates or people because somebody asked me a question, they were like, do you have good friends at work? And I was like, there's people that consider me a good friend, but I won't say that I consider them a good friend, And so that definition of friend, I'm like, that's what they consider me. But when people are always coming and always asking and always, oh, well, what's this, what's that, or what's this, what's that? And I'm like, look, I only have so much to give you. Like you depleting me. And so I can't, this is only so much. And usually a lot of times when I'm talking to people, I end up switching to the other side. Like, I can't pour from an empty cup. So, and you draining, right? So this is what we're going to do. This is what we need. And if I can be there for you, I will. And if I can't, I can't. So I think it's kind of a two-part thing for me. I always be looking at people's motives before I even allow them to get in. And then when they do get in, like that's you better cherish that, because it's already hard. And so when I recognize that it gives me like a feeling where you being conniving or is something going on, then you out quickly. I don't even allow you to stay because I don't like that feeling. I don't like feeling like I'm not safe with people. So if you my friend, I'm safe with you. And so if I don't feel safe, you're not even considered a friend. So
For me, I had to understand the power of no. Because I had certain friends where it's like, I need. But then, and I'm trying to be that friend, be a good friend. And I was stretching myself thin, you know? But then when I, not even necessarily need it, but if I was like, no, I can't do it this time, it's an issue. So then when that started to happen, I was like, well, this is not going to work. You know what I mean? If I say no, like, you need to respect my no. So I'm a very private and cut off. Y'all know me, because even like when we did the Zoom meeting the last week, I was texting Krishan and I'm like, I'm trying, girl. But it's hard for me to open up to people that I don't know. Because like Krishan, like when you get in, you're in. And if you mess it up or you cross me wrong one time, you're gonna get cut off. So because it took a lot for me to do that, you know what I mean? So it was just me having the power to know and having friends to understand that I can't be your everything for you all the time, especially with a family. When I was single, it was a little bit different. But when I got married, had kids, I had to set up boundaries, and they had to understand it. And we've never had a boundary with a person. It's hard for them to understand that you're putting up this boundary. It's hard for them to understand when you say, no, you can't do anything. You know what I mean? So then if you can't respect the season I'm in my life, then it probably wasn't meant for you to come with me into this season. So then therefore you're going to be put out.
Oh, it's so good that you said that. Like, I don't know, it's something about seasons, okay? It really is something about seasons. But like you just said, if you can't come and sit with me in the season I'm in, and maybe it wasn't meant for you to be here. But that's also the toxic relationship, toxic friendships, because I will say that I had a situation where I allowed somebody to come in and we were, rocking. And I just knew that we were meant to be in a friendship or whatever the case may be. Their kids and my kids were close, right? And then something happened, and I immediately, because my first mind is I don't want nobody around me that is conniving or anything like that, so I shut it off, shut it down. But then I had a chance to sit and recognize the season of life that they were in, and it allowed me to forgive them. It didn't allow me to let them back in like you're going to be close to me, but it did allow me to recognize like, oh, okay, they didn't know how to be a friend in the way that you needed them to be a friend, or they didn't know how to cherish you as a friend because of the whatever place they were in. And so it actually allowed me to forgive them, for the situation that happened. But I did also tell them like we will never be as close as we ever were before, but it did allow me to say, wow, because a lot of times we hold grudges, not really looking at it like maybe that person don't really recognize, they only know one form of friendship. Like you said, like everybody is quick to say, I get on Hayden all the time. She was like, that's my best friend. I'm like, you just met her yesterday. How's she your best friend? Like,
Asia too.
And so I'm like, you got to be very careful with who you call your best friend, and I was like, I can my hands, who I can say is my best friends. And even then, I don't consider them best friends. They are like my family, my sisters. So, and then she called this girl best, and the girl went and did so. And I said, so now, the fact that she put you in that situation and you just met her, do you think that that's a friend? Do you think that that's somebody that if they genuinely loved you and they genuinely knew how to be your friend, they would put you there? And so a lot of times we have to recognize that some people just don't know how. They only have one form or one reference of it. And we get hurt because we got expectations of them that they don't know how to meet. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Matching actions with words. Beministree's whole thing is that the fruit you bear is the evidence that you are living that full life. And so matching actions with words is a big thing. But there was one time where I was convicted, and I'm gonna ask this question to you guys. I was convicted about a friendship because I was the one that wasn't um, giving my half. Like I had you guys, and we're always in a group. And I wish Kay was on the line because Crystal was sending birthday cards to Z. She sent me birthday card, graduation cards. Like she just always send. She never, never required me to send anything back. And I was sitting and I was like, I am not a good friend. At this time, I happened to be going through a lot of transition and a tough time at work. And I was like, I'm not a good friend. I need to, and I just really felt the Holy Spirit pulling on me to call her and apologize. So I called her up and apologized, like, look, you've been doing all this stuff and, giving 100, and I haven't even given you what's going on with me, so you'll know where I'm at. She didn't even know that piece of it. And she was so understanding and so forgiving. And yeah, so I mean, it was just a big wake up call. Like I need to make sure that the people that God does put in my life, and that are not just the seasonal people, but they're the lifetime people, that I need to make sure that I'm giving that 100%. So for you guys, have you ever been convicted on a friendship? Like, man, I didn't even know this person was going through what they was going through, or I'm not doing everything that I can to maintain this friendship that I know God has ordained at this time. So have you guys ever been in a situation like that?
I'm just gonna say all the time, because I get caught up at work so much that I end up like missing things or whatever. Not just regular friendships, even in my relationship, this thing here. Because I did not even realize till he said one day, he was like, can I get some time? I was like, you know what? That's my bad right there, And so if that was happening with the person that lives in my household, then everybody outside of that I consider family and friends had to be feeling it more, because I was real cut off and focused on trying to get what I needed to do for work. And so I try to make sure I reach out. You ain't gonna catch me at the post office. I am so bad about mailing stuff, so ain't gonna never be no Christmas card.
I am too. I can't do it.
Listen, I'm gonna slide you that emoji with my face. That's because I ain't gonna make it to the post office. But if you ask me for it, I'm gonna try to make sure I give it to you. That's why I can't wait to retire, so that I can refocus my energy and time. And I'm trying to do that. And it's 10 months left in this uniform, and 2020 really has taught me to refocus that with the passing of my nephew in January. That's one of the things the Lord spoke to me about. This year is going to be a year of breaking, and I had no idea of how much breaking would occur in 2020. Like 2020 I've been extremely blessed in 2020, but I've witnessed a lot of breaking where I've had to step back into some friendships, relationships to help because of some situations that have occurred. And so I've had to apologize to some people, like, listen, I know I've been MIA and I'm sorry, but I'm here. Like, reach out. Because if sometimes not that I don't want to reach out, my phone might be in another room and I might be on that command phone, so I have to take time to reach out to make sure everybody good. Sometimes that don't get reciprocated. Not y'all. We gonna always, but people are like, oh, you'll never talk to me. And I'll be like, man, I could have died 3 times over, and you over here talking about I ain't reached out to you in months, or you haven't reached out either. And so have to looking for a balance, and that's why I'm extremely thankful for our group, because anybody outside the group, I'm like, okay, well, I'll try, but I know at the end of the day, if I ain't got nobody else, I got y'all.
Right.
I know that. And I know there's always a balance. So like V said earlier, we pick up where we left off regardless of what amount of time it is. And I know that if I'm feeling some type of way, I know that I can throw a rant in the group, and I have somebody that's going to reciprocate, or if I reach out to somebody and be like, well, you ain't called me in a while. I'm like, bro, you ain't called me either though.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and that's where I struggle, because I have done it, Tanisha. I have apologized to people, and that apology brought back a war of what Veronica was talking about too, where, oh, I need this, or can you help me with this? And, I had to learn how to say no on a lot of situations with that. So that section right there goes all over the place with me, because I'll be like, man, I'm a horrible friend, and realize I might not be the horrible friend.
Right.
The other person might be, and I'm just over here thinking it because I care to reach out. So
Mhm.
I'll be all over the place. Forgive me.
I was gonna say COVID was the best worst thing that ever happened for me. God forbid I do hate it, but it made me sit down because I was all over the place. To where I was neglecting the people in my house. And then I'm giving a little bit here, a little bit here, a little bit here. And you spreading yourself thin, something is suffering. So for me, I was able to fix a few relationships where we haven't talked in like 2 or 3 years. And it's not because anything happened. It's just, it fizzed out when it probably shouldn't have. But, my cousins, you had that cousin you grew up with all the time, but then if they're in the military too, and you're here and you're there, you get stretched thin. So my cousin I grew up with, I can say for sure that's like my first best friend. And we just kind of grew up in the house together, but we both joined the military. Life happened, and we'll talk once every 6 months. But that's something I had to go back and apologize for, because she'll shoot me a text or shoot me a message, but I just put a little bit in there. I wasn't putting forth the effort that needs to be there. You know what I mean? But it made me sit down to reevaluate, because sometimes I be feeling bad, even with y'all. I'm like, oh my God, I know I'm calling. So sometimes I'd be like, okay, senior, this is the only one. Okay, I need some help. You know what I mean? Because we in the Navy, you go through a lot, and I don't necessarily always trust the people in my environment. So I'm like, let me step out of this and get a perspective from another person. And I can wholeheartedly say, like, even in Japan, when it was just me and the baby, like Tanisha was like, bring the baby over here. I got it. You know what I mean? Like, to give me that rest. And then I'm like, well, what can I do to repay you for that? Because that's a lot. So I try to make sure that I'm not being that friend that is not grateful or not trying to put forth the same effort. And when I feel like I'm not, like, me, I'm like, I'm sorry, y'all. I did not mean to not be on here. This is what's going on. Please forgive me. I'm quick to apologize. You know what I mean? So, like you said, with
We
the
know
whole
what your
reciprocation.
catchphrase is.
What?
Let me catch up.
Yeah, let me catch up.
Y'all, hold on. Let me catch up.
Look, and I go back through and I respond to every single one of them. I'm gonna at y'all like, look, I'm sorry, I'm praying, I got you. But I got 2 small kids and a husband and work and sailors and evals to write and all that kind of stuff. It's a lot. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so for COVID, it really put a lot of things back into perspective, especially with people close to me passing away, people this week in my family getting admitted into the hospital. It's really make you sit back and think, like, what is important? What is the substance of this? Why am I doing it? What is my motive? Is it aligned in the right place? If not, why am I doing this type of thing?
Definitely.
So
I don't think for me I've ever had that, more so because I give disclaimers like, listen what you're gonna get when you be friends with me. But for real, like, look, come and ask me a question, you about to get the real. If you got, so I give disclaimers on purpose, more so because I want people to understand me. I think that comes from, I struggle with rejection for the longest. So I spent a lot of time explaining myself to people, so that way they would understand me enough to want to receive me. And I got out of that. I was just like, look, what you see is what you get. If you meant to be my friend, okay. If you ain't meant to be my friend, that's still okay with me. I'm all right.
right.
So I think that I never had that problem, because anytime somebody calls me, I even tell people, like, if you call me, I will definitely drop what I'm doing to, see about you, talk to you, whatever the case may be. If I can't, I'll be like, all right, I can't talk right this second, but call me back or whatever. So, but there are some times, like Tanisha texted me the other day, and I swear for goodness, I thought I'd text her back, right? I mean, had the whole text message there. She asking for advice, and I'm like, and then I looked the next day, was like, oh snap. I was like, I'm so sorry. Did you ever respond? And she was like, oh no, I put it to side. I said it was meant. Okay, here I go, and I was able to answer it. But you know, life happens for us. And I think what happens is, to the point of V, like, there are times that we deliberately just don't put in the work, right? And we the excuse of, well, life is happening. I got this, I got that. And the other person doesn't understand because they're like, well, I got that going on too. And if I could do it, you can too, you know? So I think really, like you said, the motive behind it. Are you deliberately not putting in the work, you know, and you just want somebody just to do for you? Because there are people out there like, you didn't call me. Like they entitled to you calling. Like, what? Right. This phone go both ways. So when you call me, that's when I'm gonna call you, you know. But I think more so for me, because whenever somebody calls, I make sure that I give them like 110%. You know, V, when you call me, I love Veronica, because Veronica gonna tell you who she calling as. Like, senior, this is the only one, or she be like, this is V, I need you. So you know what side to give to her, you know. And so you know what type of advice. And that's what I love about the it's 5 of us. It's a couple of us, but we right here this is the core. And what I love so much about us is each one of us can offer something. And like Tanisha said, she's not in the military no more. So we might be in there going in, and she be like, this ain't my message, but I'm gonna love this, I'm gonna love that. Yeah. And it's times that y'all will be going in and y'all get to Mississippi talking, I'll be like, yeah, that ain't for me. All right. So it's like we know our lanes, and we know when to jump out or whatever. What I love about Cassandra, listen, if you put a post in there, but like, pray for my mama, she got this, and this going on.
Oh, she going.
She about to put a whole page of a prayer. She'll be up here going in.
Praying for you. No, Sand coming with the prayer. Okay, this I got you. We'll see.
No, we on that touching and agreeing. Hallelujah, glory.
We all got our roles, so it's like, that's what I love so much about it, is just really recognizing that each one of us is in a place that we can give something. And I may not be able to get it from V, so I can't hold V accountable for something that she can't give to me, right? But I know that I can get it from Sam, because then there'll be some times where you got to take that message on the outside and be like, hey, Sam, like this, and that, or whatever, or I got to see it, you know, or whatever the case may be. But I think it's just more so recognizing, like I said in the beginning, I gave people disclaimers so they would understand me. And I think also too, that was a way of giving myself an excuse that if I did mess up, be like, well, you already knew, like you knew about that before. So if you wanted to be my friend, then, you know, whatever, but the motive behind it. So yeah.
I was just gonna piggyback real quick about the different dynamics in our group. I really appreciate that it's never a jealousy thing. You know what I mean? Like, my relationship with Tanisha is different from my relationship with Krishan, different than my relationship with Sam. We all have a different bond on our own accord, but it's never been a conflict. Does that make sense? You know what I mean? Like, me and Tanisha can talk about crafting. We here. You know what I mean? Man, we're gonna talk about my facial expressions with Krishan. You know, but I'm just saying, we're gonna try to get this makeup together and talk about these greens our mom's about to cook with Sam. But I'm just saying, like, we have those different dynamics and relationship is never been where, oh, this person said this and this person said that. We've never had that. It's never been a, and we always championing for each other and lifting one another up and always happy for each other, like genuinely happy, and not just saying, oh girl, that's awesome, I'm happy for you, but then be on the side saying something else. That's what I really appreciate about us. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm with you. I promise you, because even like when
start the tears, come on with it.
But it's so true. Like, look at it.
It is.
When Sam made senior chief, right? Like, we was lit city, you know. It wasn't like the rest of us wasn't like, I wasn't up, but we was like, look, she made it, I made it. We good. And then when I made it, it was like y'all came in droves out there. Veronica was like, look, I can't make it, but you know, but it was like we always champion. When you started your balloon business, everything like that, we was like, what you need, what you got, we up here coming up together.
Yep, sure was.
Always for each other. But like you said, our relationship is different. Like I know that sometimes like God will give me a word and I be like, oh, I gotta get to Tanisha. Like I gotta get to her, not recognizing that the word might be for her. I'm thinking it's for me, but then I start to be like, that was for me, thank you. All right. And I'm really trying to bounce some ideas off, and then I might get with Sam because we have that connection in the senior chief lane. I'll be like, listen, hey sis, you know me. So I'm about to go crush some souls, help me or bring me back or whatever the case may be. So, and then prime example, this is like we are like ahead and behind in each place, right? So prime example, I went to SCA as an E7. Fan just went to SCA. She was like, look, sis, I know you went to SCA. Can you help me? There was no like, I'm senior to her, I shouldn't be asking her for help or whatever. Right. It was the humility that's in this group. That's the piece right there. The humility in the friendship. Like we know, like, look, sis, you got what I need. I might have what you need or whatever. And we're so good to reach out to each other. But I love, and that's where it comes with the seasons, right? Each one of us has went through a season and we're all connected to know, like, okay, Stan just came out of that. Let me go talk to Stan. Or, be going through that or whatever the case may be or whatever. And then sometimes we have to have those hard conversations like, look, you need to get it together or whatever,
right.
Sometimes we want to have a woe is me party and we don't never let that happen. We're like, listen, I'm gonna let you cry. With 10 seconds, you got to get up, I love the humility that we have with each other to be able to celebrate each other and see, like, y'all was all talking about houses and stuff. Look, I ain't had a house since 2006. And I was like, I'm gonna get there one day. I'm gonna get there. But I knew listening to you guys that I can be able to call them like, okay, so you just did a new build. What type of, what lenders, what loans should I be looking at or whatever the case may be. And you can give it to me from a perspective of what you went through, but also knowing me to be like, all right, Chrissy, when you go, talk to them about this and this and that. This is what you need to do. Okay, so Kylan about to go to college. If you want to be, we know how to talk to each other from a place of where we've been, where we're going, and being able to pass that knowledge down so we don't leave nobody behind. Even with you, we rooting for you to make chief and everything like that. Every single time we come together and we genuinely coming together, I just really believe that each season that you do not make it is a season to make you stronger, but you glean from us every single time. So that way, when you actually do get there, you're like, my sisters done already did that. So I already know how to get, it's kind of like a place where you've been able to see it, you've been exposed to it, and you know how to reach back and gain from the seasons that we've already been in. Same thing with Tanisha, like you out the military, we about to get out. So we gonna be like, so, listen,
how we do that?
What's it like to be a contractor? What's it like to be a GS? Is it real? Because we only know, like, you only know of, but it would be a better way to have a friend that has actually gone through it and
absolutely
can walk through it and walk alongside with you and hold your hand and be like, all right, I'm here with you.
Yeah,
that's good, y'all. When you start talking about the humility in the group and just us, how we move and how we operate, like, it's a blessing. I got one thing I wanted when I thought about, like, friends. Let me. I'm gonna read this. Y'all might get it and y'all might not, but I'm gonna read it. But the one part that I was listening to said, "Friends are there through thick and thin." I believe that it's automatic, and I'm like, yeah, we automatic. Like everything just flows.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Call me when you need a friend, because I'm your sister. Don't know what I ever do without you from the beginning to the end. You always been here right beside me, so I call you my best friend. I was listening to it. I was like, that's it,
Brandy. Yeah, that's Brandy right there.
Hey,
I was like, wait.
But before she even said it, I was like, we going.
I'm like, these lyrics sound familiar.
Right. Well, look, when you just said it's automatic, I had to listen first, right? Because it went for us, like it's automatic. Like we don't, but some places it's not automatic, and people are expecting it to be automatic, you know, and that's where the work comes in. And I think that's where people just get misconstrued in the expectations that they have. Like for us, like I know I don't have to want for nothing. I know that like if I call, if you got it, I got it, whatever the case may be. That's the automatic piece. But I feel like the work is the part that's not automatic. So that's why I was like, because when you initially said it, I was like, let me listen. And then we was like, yeah, it is, because for us it is. And then I was like, I know them words, you know, like yeah. You want to know something else though that I love about us is that each one of us, every last one of us, I think we met coming out of a storm or going into a storm or whatever the case may be. That's what really brought us together. Like we went to Japan and it was like an incubation stage over there. Like we was coming from a place, you know, like I said, for me, coming out of the divorce with the kid's father and everything like that. And it was just like a healing. And I mean, it was just something that was so amazing that I will always cherish you guys for, because I was missing my kids. So y'all kids became my kids, you know, and it was like, you know, it was like, we just enveloped each other where we needed to be. And so I really love that. And I really thought about that as we was getting on. Y'all don't understand, I was so excited. I was like, this is gonna be good because we genuine. There's nothing. That's why she was like, I ain't got no script. I was like, you ain't gonna need one because it's gonna flow so much. That's us. But to think back on the seasons that we've been through together, you know, and that group chat, if you scroll up, like we got some years and years and years of stuff, and it's some good nuggets in there too. But I was just like,
might have a book coming up out of there. Come on now,
right? But I really, if I ain't never said it before, I wholeheartedly thank y'all for your place in my life and for the seasons that you have walked through with me, and just for, you know, loving me through the pain. And even when I didn't do my part of being a friend or whatever the case may be and being understand, I just really love y'all for that. I really do. Listen, right?
Yeah, y'all know I'm a crybaby. I am not gonna do this with y'all.
I know, that's right. Like it just was really I thought somebody was trying to get in here. Okay. All right. Yeah, it just really like you said, the season where we all met. I know I was sent to Japan. I think that the Lord was just sick of me doing whatever I was doing stateside. He just sent me to Japan with Zaria, and I ain't know nobody. I was like, I don't even know nobody. I had probably had $500 to my name. And I'm like, what you send me? They got earthquakes every other day. Like, what is going on? And I know one example I could say is I was being sent to school and I ain't had nobody to watch Z. Like, I was like, well, how they gonna send me to school? Like, they know that I'm single. And, you know, usually I say the civilian sector is just like the Navy. They don't care about none of that. They like, well, you figure it out. And sent to Zari in, we didn't even really know each other that well. Took Zari in for the whole week. And and I just was like, Dad, I can't believe that the Lord put somebody in my life that just would swoop in, take care. I mean, they fed her, she was clean. They were sending pictures every day because she started her first day in kindergarten and I wasn't there. So they was taking pictures every day, sending me pictures. Matter of fact, when I came back, they was like, you know, we can keep her a little bit longer if you want it. and I'm like with Krishan, like this whole thing that I just was thinking about was the idea of us doing vision boards, because we always pushing each other to do the best. But I really wanted to talk about friendships and how important they are and the dynamics, just to make sure that I give you guys flowers. You know, we always messaging and you know, going back and forth, but I don't think I ever say thank you guys for choosing me as a friend and keeping me as a friend. When y'all, Krishan and Sam left me and V in Japan, all we had was each other.
Look, we was at each other's house eating pizza every night, talking. The word that's coming to mind real quick: divine intervention.
Y'all have no idea.
It was divine.
How my kids was mad at me for leaving Japan. They were so upset. They was like, we don't have no friends and no Zaria. Ain't nobody at church. We don't like these churches. They don't praise dance. They don't have children's church. Ain't no red door. They was mad.
Red door is the bomb. Miss it.
And, you know, and
Listen.
I went through a lot of, I can say, I will say it was like a depression because I was just like, man, I ain't got no friends.
Right.
Like holiday parties, I'm like,
We ain't got no
Right.
what y'all
dance.
do?
Right.
Y'all don't dress?
I didn't even
Ain't
kiss.
nobody got shoes? What do you mean? You know,
Right.
it was just like, where are my friends? You know, and like literally in Japan, it was crazy because it was like Krishan was like, let's dance. Sure. Tanisha was like, I need somebody to watch Z. Hey, I watch kids. Veronica was like, I'm from Mississippi. Hell, we family. You know, it,
Right.
it was just that it was like God was playing chess and put all the pieces that needed to be there. And you
Yeah.
know, and then we started to move, and I was like, well, I don't like this. Like, what you trying to do? You
Mhm.
know, but then you know, then he came along with Al Gore's internet and kept us together.
Yes.
And we've been able to keep that going. But I will tell you that I've never been closer to anybody. Like, I'm not even close to my cousins. I'll tell you that
Yeah.
when I go home, it's my sister, my brother, my mama, my daddy, them nieces,
Mhm.
that nephew, my kids, two aunts. Everybody else is like, But for
Right.
me, I'll be like, you know what? Let me holler at my girls, because that's, y'all are blood for me. And so
Mhm.
I echo that. I thank y'all for choosing me as a friend, because I know I can be some special. I know that. Everybody can't deal with a saying.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I know that.
You
You
be
know, and so
able
I appreciate y'all on so many levels, because you know we have those, we may have our individual conversations, but we gonna always come back to the group, and we gonna always be there. And you know, I'll tell you that in us purchasing our house, the first thing Damien said was, we gotta have room for the summer visits.
Yes.
That's why we
Hey,
like Damien. That's why
listen, that came from him. I'm gonna have to slide off so we can finish talking to this man. But you know, it says something when the spouse is like,
Thank you.
man, the girls ain't came this summer. Like, you know, he looking like this sucked. Like,
we
you
right.
know, and so and that went into, and for me that was big, because he recognized how much or how important y'all are to me, because in this house he was like, no, we need a space for like the kids when the kids come. We need a space for like whatever y'all gonna do. And you know, and we're literally are trying to have this house together, because November of next year, that's when the retirement ceremony is, and it's going down in the
Well, you
house.
know I'm gonna be there.
But you know, and so that was one of the things for me. I'm just like, man, I don't, and you know, I'll say stuff on Facebook, but when I be on Facebook, like, man, I miss where my girls at. You know, like, I ain't got no friends. People like, oh, I'm your friend. I'll be like, that's cute. I'm talking about my friends though.
Look,
You know, so
looking like who this?
I was, I was I'm over here about to get teary eyed and stuff. Like, I'm doing this today. But y'all know I've been through a lot of stuff.
yes,
And then when I got pregnant, y'all didn't judge me. Y'all didn't like look at me crazy. I mean, I ain't a married man, but I'm just saying. It
Yeah.
was just the rally that was around me, and then Josh went to Bahrain, and y'all was still there, and y'all showered my baby with so much love, and but just the seasons I've been through, period. Um, I love y'all.
Mhm. Mhm.
I know I'm a baby,
you
Yeah.
know, I love y'all.
It's funny because, like you just
but
said, like even with Kai and Hay, like y'all ain't never met them a day in their life, but knew everything about them. Like they was rocking with us in Japan, even not there. Like, you get what I mean? And
yeah,
then when we got to the first time y'all met them in person was in DC when we went to Sarah House. And I mean, they loved every bit of it. So they was like, we going back to Auntie Sarah House? Like, we about to get back together? Like, y'all, we it's the
Yeah,
summer, like, what's going on, you know? And I was like, oh no, we're not. And, like, they was upset, but like V said, like, y'all just took them in, and it was just like no worries at all, like no worries. Even when we was like, when it was time for me to go, like it was time for me to move, time for me to fly back to the States. And it was kind of like, all right, what you need, sis, we got you, whatever. Like you said, the rally, like y'all be coming out in droves, boy. Like, listen, we about to be out here, you know, the send-offs, the the celebrations or whatever. And V, absolutely, because it was like we saw you. And we all have been in that place before, because I think you were so like ashamed, like I ain't married. I'm like, I'm just out here, da 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 da. And we was just like, come on, it don't matter. Like we love you no matter what. And so you always been that little sister to us, like, listen, we're gonna get you right. But I love y'all. Y'all just so amazing. I'll be sitting in here just to giggle. And they like, what is you laughing at? I'm like, listen,
Right.
like,
I love those days where it's like 22 messages. I'm like, oh, let me see what you were talking about today.
Right.
I don't have my phone dry. I don't really have nobody texting me. But I know I model a lot of my friendships and relationships based off of you guys. How we interact is how I want to have, like, I have a whole bunch of siblings, and we not as close as I would like us to be. And I try to, the same energy or the same way we interact, I try to establish that same thing. Let me get to know who these people are. Let me see how they operate, how they move, and maybe we can have that same level of friendship as adults. Because we all grow up, but once we disperse from the house, we just don't really communicate like that anymore. So definitely, I model a lot off of you guys and how we interact. And I think that some people are like, friends, like y'all,
The standard is high. The standard is high.
What friends are you talking about? They kind of be looking. I'm like, I can't even explain. Just forget. I can't explain. You don't understand.
Yeah.
The standard is so high. Sometimes I can't even reach it. So what are you here for?
right.
I'm just saying, like, come on with it now.
But all right, I really appreciate y'all for joining me today.
This was awesome.
Been a blessing.
This was so awesome.
I'm gonna hit stop recording, then we can just y'all. I think Sam got to go check on that beautiful.
Yeah, I got to go finish these papers. He a double booked, and it's like 3 families in here. Like the housing market is crazy over here right now.
All right,
but I love y'all. I had fun.
Yes.
I am grateful for y'all. Y'all know I'm good for some eyebrows and a prayer.
Come on with it. Love you.
But I love y'all. Thank y'all. I will message y'all later. I'll send y'all pictures and let y'all know how everything going.
All right.
Awesome.